Thank you so much, very much to everyone for the opportunity to come today. I'm based in the School of Engineering. I'm also based in the Edinburgh Futures Institute and Director of the Centre for Future Infrastructure. And we work with a whole range of different companies and organisations looking at future cities, but not just cities, but suburban and rural, but also some of the big tasks ahead and where we're going, particularly around sustainability. But one of the great things we have within the Edinburgh Futures Institute is this ability to reach right across so many schools. So it's not just School of Engineering I'm working with, it'll be health, it'll be business, it'll be architecture, geosciences, informatics. And that allows us to bring that interdisciplinary approach to so many of the challenges that face us. So bear with me as I just take you on a short journey of some of the tasks and challenges ahead. The great news is if you work in infrastructure, there's money coming. There always is money in infrastructure, but when you look over the next 20 to 25 years, it's $100 trillion is going to be spent. And so much of that infrastructure is going to require data and digital solutions. So the opportunity ahead is there. It's been given to us. It's how we embrace it and how we take on the key challenges which come ahead. Just a wee thing. In addition to net zero and everything else, the global population, by the way, is going to rise over about 3.8 billion in the next 70-odd years up to the year 2100. Now that then means that we need to build approximately 2 billion homes to meet not only the growing population in 80 years, 70-odd years, but also the issues around people living longer, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not just the birth rate that's happening in that period. So in addition to that, I just want you to take that 2 billion figure and think about what does this mean in practice? So let's take those 29 countries there on the left, 570 million population, 320 million homes, and that took about 400 years to make and to build. We need to build 6.25 of those globally in the next 70-odd years to meet the demand of what's coming. So to do that, we're going to have to do it in a very sustainable way, and we're going to need a lot of rich data to understand and maximize the opportunities and the efficiencies to come. Major challenges, of course, are coming in our retrofit for smart cities, and all cities, in fact. The UK requires to retrofit roughly about 970,000 homes per year by 2050, and in Europe, it's 14 million homes a year will require to be retrofitted. Currently, we've still to see the government publish the range and attributes of archetypes for housing, of which we've proposed some already, and local authorities and housing associations are really keen to go on this. So this, again, is where data, digital, potential AI can assist in how we will model and map, which can then support our skills and college sector to grapple with some of the key tasks and the big challenges as you roll out en masse the mass retrofit to come. Grid constraints is another issue for cities as well, but it's an exciting area when we look at some of the areas of uncertainty. My colleague, Professor Chris Dent, in the School of Mathematics, has done work with Ofgem and also with National Grid. When we look at EV mapping and what's coming in some of our cities, Dr. Thomas Morstan in the School of Engineering has been working on these areas and software and other attributes. The public and commercial buildings of where we're going and building occupant use, and there are a number of new technologies around in this domain, which is very exciting. And again, we're working with a number of companies there, including Scenario Labs, amongst others. District community heating, which is the big ask to come from many cities, because we will not be able to roll out at scale on individual homes and buildings some of the solutions, and therefore we will revert to community and district heating. Will require a further step change in how we could model some of those and looking at some of the uncertainties to come. And look at what's coming shortly across Scotland with the local heat energy networks. And that will start to plug and play into where we go with data and digital solutions to support people. And not putting aside, everything requires and is for our communities. And so Professor Dan van der Horst has been working in geosciences. He worked with City of Edinburgh Council using GIS mapping to map out the 19 20-minute community neighbourhoods for them, which they now utilise across the portfolio of the decision making. So it's an exciting area to be in. Not to take away from that, there's then how can we help and work with you, not only in treating and delivering some of these challenges and the solutions and the analysis, but also with our public and industry and other sector partners, because it will be a portfolio. No one company has the answer, no one singular academic has the answer. It is interdisciplinary where we go for smart cities and net zero. And therefore, one of the things we can also do is link with IoT and the sensors, and I just want to mention another colleague here, Professor Togrul Arslan, with the work that he's been doing and his colleagues, where we can actually utilize a lot of our estates or the partners that we're working with to test and develop some of your ideas or some of your products and systems. So we can also be a living lab in many of the attributes and the projects that you might want to take in across cities, not just in Edinburgh, Scotland, but internationally as well. So we have a number of living lab operations which are going on just now across the university and across other partners' estates. So that's the other opportunity, is that if you are applying for funding for government and you're saying, well, actually, we're looking for that living lab to trial this, please get in touch with us. We'd be delighted to try and help or find partners for you. When we look at case studies, it's not just about that direct infrastructure and what's to come. It's also about that environmental aspect, the air quality and monitoring that's going on, the biodiversity monitoring, and how we can apply that to the communities which live and breathe around us. I absolutely love the job that I do. Every day is different, and anyone working in infrastructure just now will probably be saying the same, depending if you're filling in potholes, but actually most of it just now is so exciting. It's so intriguing that every day is different, and the work that's coming through the door. So I want to just, before I finish, just raise a couple of points. We plan later in September, we've not set a date, but we will reach out to all of you and invite you. We plan to have a session around our future cities and data. Because, as I've said, it can't be solved just by singularity. It has to be done by the interplay across multiple different partners. And we thought a workshop to kind of bring together where is the current technology, where are things going in the future, and what are the big asks from central and local government where they're going with their place-based approaches. Finally, we have a great chance to shape the communities of the future. I spend a lot of my time meeting and working with local communities, whether through housing associations or with our local civic partners. And it's an incredibly rewarding opportunity to see the change that we can make using data and digital approaches into people's lives and the quality of life that they have, but also energy efficiency and infrastructure and the future use of sensors. So if we can accelerate those data and digital approaches, if we can help map and plan the approaches for civic and government, then through those strategic partnerships, there is a chance to challenge, design, and create. Thank you very much indeed for your time.